think you're thinking about taking advantage of that new redshirt rule with anybody, and maybe that coming into play?
How do you mean?
Well, like with redshirting guys who have played so far.
No, the freshmen who played so far have earned playing time, so they're going to continue to play. So we don't plan on pulling back on Chris Murray or Kyle Phillips or Chase or Martell or Kaz or Dorian. So those guys have earned playing time, so they'll continue to play this season.
So Andre James,
He's here.
He's here? Okay. It looked like there might be some kind of movement on the offensive line. With
No, Andre was just out, so we're moving around some different guys. So we still got today and tomorrow and Thursday till we finalize anything. So.
Are you consider with Boss coming back? Could there be some movement among like the guys?
Yeah, there could. We may just play. We just have more depth, is what we have. So fortunately, we got more depth there. So.
Okay. What about Zach Sweeney?
Zach Sweeney is medically retired with a shoulder injury, so he's no longer. Just came over the other day, and he's no longer going to be able to play. So he's medically retired.
When did that happen?
Over the weekend.
Okay.
So do you know if he's going to be remaining in school? And
he hasn't made that. I think he's going to remain in school and finish out school. I mean, he has that opportunity to him, but he's no longer going to be able to play football with a shoulder.
What's Wilson's status right now?
Wilton is on the practice field running around just like he has been for the last 5 days. So.
Okay. Is he pretty much full?
I don't know.
Right now?
I mean, that's a question you can ask him. So I know he's cleared for practice and is practicing. So.
How are you approaching who's going to start that game at quarterback?
Well, I'm approaching. We're going to have a really good practice today. So our game's not till Friday, so we're on Tuesday. So a lot of things can happen between now and Friday. So.
Okay. I guess I'm asking what will go into that decision.
Just who's available, who's healthy, who's our best opportunity to beat Colorado.
How about Christian Pabico?
Pabico has day-to-day, probably don't expect to get much out of him today.
What strides has Boss made at offensive line after switching from defensive line this spring?
He's picked up a lot of things. You know, I think he's sharp. He actually was a very good offensive lineman in high school, so this isn't a foreign move to him like a guy's moving to a new position. So has played both sides of the ball before and was productive. And he really showed up a spot because we had a lack of depth on the offensive line. So helped a lot in the spring. Obviously sat for the first couple of games, but he just adds more depth to a position where we don't have a lot of depth.
You got your full team back as far as the suspended guys now. How much of a boost is that to have everybody here?
We'll see. You know, 2 of them are back this week, so we'll see how they do in training sessions and can they factor in the game plan or not factor in the game plan. So they haven't. When they were suspended, they weren't practicing up with the 1s and 2s, so they were always down on the scout squad. So we'll see how they acclimate back.
How close are Jabari Anderson and Elijah Wade to getting into game?
I'm not the trainer, so when they tell me they're good to go, then they're good to go. But I don't ask how close or anything. I just we meet every day, and he tells me who's training on that day and who's not training.
So they're still not 100% yet, then.
I would guess I would take that as a no.
When you have a team that's kind of hit a rough patch like this, do you spend more time on the psychological part of the game?
No, we spend the same consistent amount of time on everything we do. You know, that there's not a change. We don't say we lost a game, so let's go do this now. We won a game, let's change and do this. We've been very consistent in our approach with these guys, and they've been very consistent in their approach. And you know, it's still a game about fundamentals, and it's still a game about blocking and tackling and getting off of blocks and staying on blocks. So it's still just the same consistent model that we have here.
When evaluating the passing game, what kind of deficiencies did you see that need to be improved?
I think everything. You know, it starts with protection, and it's not one thing. If it's one thing, it'd be easy to say, hey, just switch this out. You know, we've had some times where we put the ball on receivers and they've dropped it. We've had some receivers open and we haven't hit them. We've had some protection breakdowns that where the receiver's doing the right thing, quarterback's doing the right thing, but we don't have the right protection. So it's a combination of all things in the passing game.
As a coach and as a play caller, how often do you have to watch like just other teams to get ideas for plays and things like that? Like how often do you have a chance to watch other like NFL?
Yeah, I mean, we have a system that we run, so it's not like we're, you know, we come in on Sunday and say, hey, let's watch other teams and see what they're doing. It's, you know, we're just trying to fit what our players do well, and figure out what their strengths are and try to play to their strengths.
Where would you say you are in that evaluation process? Do you feel like you have a good grasp of what these guys can do at this point?
Yeah, I think we have a decent understanding of what these players are capable of doing.
With the early signing period in December, how does that impact the way you split your time with recruiting guys and then also?
It's been the same no matter what. I mean, whether there's an early signing period or not an early signing period, I think there's a certain amount of time in each day that's dedicated to recruiting, and our coaches are always. I don't think the December part or the February part means anything. And recruiting's a 365-day-a-year job, no matter I don't care what sport you're playing at the college level. So it's not like, well, we have an early signing period, so we have to spend more time on recruiting. I think every school out there spends a lot of time on recruiting 365. So.
Anything else? Thanks.
Thank you.